Good afternoon. Greetings to everyone. This is Queen Elle back again to do a 5-card spread this time with my tarot reading. So, in case anyone is unaware, I'm using the Universal Waite tarot deck. There is the original Rider-Waite tarot deck that is most commonly and subsequently is the most universally recognized tarot deck. However, the Universal Waite tarot deck is one that is also globally recognized, and this is the one that I opted to purchase as my first deck versus the original Rider-Waite deck, mainly because of the way that it's mass produced. Well, both of them are, but the original one, just reading reviews, recent reviews from people on Amazon, which is where I purchased this one from, they were saying that there was some issue with the integrity of the cards as far as the printing goes. So I opted to purchase this one instead. So let's begin. This 5-card spread is going to be a question and answer reading. It's one that I found on wishingmoon.com. So I've already meditated with the cards in my hands and centered myself. So let's just jump in. So one thing, as I'm just kind of hand shuffling them, one thing that I wanted to do topic wise for this question and answer reading, I will use myself on almost all of my initial readings, and then as I build an audience, then by all means please reach out to me and I will do your reading. And my intent is to get a lot of practice in doing my readings. So if anyone has any topics that they would like some guidance on, or just to get some reassurance regarding any type of subject in their life, whether it's love or seeking guidance with regard to your career path or just your soul path, just where you feel like your life is taking you, whether it's, seeking guidance regarding your purpose in life, or just how to move on from a current situation, I could definitely help with that. So with regard to this question and answer reading, I'm going to turn my focus more inward. And since this reading will be specific to me, I'm going to focus on, as I'm finishing up with preparing the deck, I'm going to focus all of my energy and my intentions on myself for this question and answer reading. So the topic that I wanted to focus on is I'm preparing for a move. So I didn't know if I wanted to actually put that out there or not, but my family is considering and preparing for a move, and right now we're kind of trying to decide how soon the move should take place. So this question and answer reading will be specifically for me and giving me guidance on that particular move. So let me just kind of focus more on the cards a bit and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm ready. So the first question, and actually this is just showing with regard to my move. The first card is me in my present situation. I have the cards turned around, so let me just turn them. Okay, the first card is, it's the number 5. And as you all will learn, I'll link one of my previous videos. So with this being a new deck for me and me being new to the practice of tarot reading, I deliberately decided to acclimate myself to the cards personally, just on my own first, before allowing the opinions of others to weigh in on my perspective with regard to these cards. So you'll find that instead of just going off of, oh, this is the such and such card, and that means XYZ, I don't want to give a generic reading. I don't want to give a generic perspective of the cards. I want to actually give my first-hand account of these cards. And I almost feel like something my father used to always say is the first impression is the lasting impression. I love the fact that because I'm so new to this with dealing with the cards, is that a lot of these cards I haven't even seen before yet. So this is an example of that. So the purpose of this card is me and my present situation, and just looking at it. So it has the number 5 at the top. There are 5 stars at the top as well. It looks like it looks like a mosaic of sorts. And I see a person, can't really tell the gender, which is not really important, you know, but I see a person cloaked with a blanket around them. It's obviously very cold in the picture. There's snow on the ground, and they look rather downtrodden. And then the other person is has some crutches and has what looks like a foot in a cast, and it's just kind of hobbling along behind them. So this is really interesting. I would say that with this being specifically about me and my present situation, I do have some chronic illnesses, and so I'm a part of the Spoonie community, if anyone knows what that means. And it's just interesting that this would be a depiction of me in my present situation, because I actually can really relate to that, and that resonates with me. Now, I'm not sure how this plays into the focus, which is me wanting to focus on my move, so to speak. I'm not sure if this, with it being in the cold, if the coldness represents kind of like a dull, dead, slow period in time, because you think about how there's not much growth when it's cold out, when things are frozen over. Um, on one hand, you could look at it like a lot of things are dying off, but on the other hand, I look at what's on the horizon and I envision, okay, so this is where I am right now, but maybe I'm at the tail end of something and getting ready to embark on something new, which is what my goal is and intent with this move. So we'll keep going. So this is me in my present situation. What action can I take during the situation? What action can I take during this situation? Okay, so this is the Hermit, and it has the Roman numeral 9 at the top. And what I will study is what the significance is of the numbers at the top of the cards, because I'm not sure of that right now. But I see how not only does the Hermit have the lantern with light inside, the light inside appears to be a star. And as you may or may not know, link in another video, I really have an affinity towards stars. I love stars, and stars, not only do they represent, you know, twilight, to me they represent just their brightness and just shining on everything. So this Hermit is shining a light, and if this is the action I can take during my current situation, I know that the Hermit, typically when you think of a hermit, it has the reputation of being someone that stays shut in, stays to themselves, just kind of not necessarily closed off from everyone, but just really kind of hunkers down to, in this sense, with a goal in mind, hunkers down to get the job done. And that is something that I'm definitely working towards, especially with regard to my upcoming move, is really just hunkering down and keeping to myself aside from my family, and just working toward that common goal. So that's what I can take, the action I can take during the situation. The next one is the obstacles and challenges that I'll face. Okay, I see the Page of Pentacles. And so there are the different suits. There is, and I learned it with one of my cards from yesterday. The suits are the cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. And so this is the Page of Pentacles. And by the way, the suits are similar to when you think of a deck of cards and how there are suits. So this is the Page of Pentacles, and um, I believe the page is between the Jack and the Queen. Um, just looking at the image, as I've said in other videos, I see the common theme among these cards in this original Waite tarot deck is the yellow. So the yellow that's in the sky is, I mean, it's really taken over this particular card. But the yellow to me represents just the brightness and that illumination again, just like with the other card. How that sky was blue, but that star that was within the lantern, the way that the illustrator drew it to just reflect how it was really illuminating the path that the hermit was on. And for the Page of Pentacles, since this is representing the obstacles and challenges that I'll face, um, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's greener, crops. There's the land is just green. There's some, I'll hold it closer. You could see the color's not really picking up, but there are some flowers down at the bottom, trees in full bloom. I do see some mountains in the background, but if this is the obstacle and challenge that I'll face, um, I'm wondering if the challenge is to keep up with this. So that star that's shining is to keep it up. One thing, just to give you a bit of information about me, sometimes I have trouble keeping up my energy, and that's my physical energy. But then I think about my emotional energy, my mental energy, and a lot of times I've learned through my meditation that I started this year. I've learned that when I meditate, I truly feel like it rejuvenates me and it gives me that extra oomph that I need to keep going. So, if this is a sign that that's the obstacle that I'll face, is kind of keeping this up, because this is how I want to be. I want to be that star that, in the sense of shining a light on everyone. That's what I want. That's my goal. So if it's a matter of keeping up with that, then I know that I just need to continue with my meditation. And I've also been interested in incorporating yoga. So that's a thought. I'll keep you all posted on how that goes, because I know that meditation is a practice, yoga is a practice, similar to this tarot practice. And all of those things, they require effort, they require consistency, and they require desire and passion to do them. So, and not just to do them, but to stick with them. So that's something that I really am going to set my intentions on and actually perform. So that was the third one. The fourth one is the outcome to all of the above. Okay, so the outcome. So we had that fifth card, that star, and I believe that the cards that don't have the names on them, I believe that those are the minor arcana, and the cards that have the names on the bottom are the major arcana. I will verify that and post a video on that, like the actual descriptions of the cards once I get through them. And so we have the Hermit. So the first one is me in my present situation. The second is what action I'll take during the situation, what action I can take. And the third one is the obstacles and the challenges that I'll face. Let's go to the fourth one. So this is the outcome to all of those. So this is a card that what I've learned is whenever you see those branches, those are called wands, W-A-N-D-S, within the tarot decks. So this would be one of the wand cards, and there are three. So And it's also a Roman numeral 3 at the top of the card. So what I see is, I see based off of the garment, I see someone that is quite victorious. See somebody that's at the top of whatever hill or higher ground compared to everyone else. Below that, I see what look like little sailboats. You see those down at the bottom in the yellow? They look like little sailboats. The water looks yellow. And again, I feel like that's a sign. I feel like that I've never been someone drawn to yellow, but I am drawn to the sun and to the light that I feel the sun brings and what it represents symbolically. So seeing the water be yellow, it just reminded me about this theme. And so I see the progression. So with this one being what the outcome to all of the above will be, it looks like this is someone that represents victory and being victorious in the situation. And so when I'm thinking about the move that me and my family will be taking, and it's essentially a cross country move. So this is pretty big. I've made a move like this in the past, but that was literally 15 years ago exactly. So this is quite interesting to think of. Here we are 15 years later, and I'm getting ready to embark on another move like that. And I mean, my family has grown so much more since then. So it's a big deal. It is definitely a big deal. But to see this card mean, something that's so victorious. I know that the number 3 is also synonymous with, in certain spirituality sects and especially Christianity, it's a holy number, that Trinity. But as far as the number 3, for me, something that's interesting is this is my birth number. So I've, I'll link the video again. This is, or maybe it'll be over there. So this is the 3 is the number that, for as far as tarot cards go and any type of numerology or astrology, 3 is my life path number. And the way you can find your life path number or your birth number is by taking your date of birth and you add all of the numbers in your date of birth. So today's date is March 3rd. Let me verify. March 3rd, 2020. If you were born on March 3rd, 2020, then your life path number would be, you literally add every digit. So if you made your month and day of the month, if you made them 2 digits, you would add those separately. So let's say it was the 10th or the 11th rather, you would add 1 plus 1, which would equal 2. In this case, it's quite simple because there are some zeros, there are 2 3s, there are 2 2s. So adding all of that together, you would get the number 10. Well, as far as tarot goes, so with numerology, that number 10, I believe you would hold on to the 10, or you could add the 1 and the 0 to equal a life path number of 1. Sorry if this is shaking. I'm on my laptop and I have it kind of propped up. But so that's the life path number 1. For me, when I added all of those numbers, I got the number 30. And when it comes to tarot, the goal is to get to a number of 21 or less, because there are cards numbered up to 21. And then it's able to be, you're able to reflect on it and see the card that corresponds with your life path number, or birth number is what it's called in the tarot community, your tarot birth number. So for me, since 30 was the number I had, I added the 3 and the 0 and got 3. So my life path number is 3. And the card that is representative of that life path number is the Empress. And I did talk about that in a previous video. But this card, with this being the outcome to all of the other cards, it has a 3 at the top. And seeing that 3 makes me think of my life path. And also seeing that this man, the way that he's standing, how he is at the top and viewing everyone else, it feels victorious. It feels like, yes, like I made it. So I'm really excited about that. It's interesting that his back is to me, it's like he's facing out. So I'm not sure if that is significant. I feel like every aspect is significant. Something that I mentioned yesterday is that these branches, so how they have the green leaves, or the wands have the branches with the green leaves sprouting out. I love seeing that because to me that signifies life. It signifies growth and that something is continuing to grow and not stagnant. So I'm really excited about that outcome. The last card is the effect will be the effect that this situation, these circumstances, will be related to me emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. So this is the effect that it'll be related to me emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Wowzers. Okay. So the effect, I mean, this is the 10 of Wands. And so I showed you the 3 of Wands. And this was the final outcome, which that's awesome. The 10 of Wands. So looking at that one, it shows, as you can see, a gentleman that's walking. Now, in the distance, it looks like he's walking like to a castle of sorts. You can see that. Um, But, and yes, the wands all have those branches and they're lively with the green leaves, but he looks like this is a huge burden for him. So, thinking about the effect that it would have on me emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, that's something that I mentioned before that I really would like to just kind of work on my mental and spiritual health. I will talk more about my emotional health, but I definitely want to maintain, I want to, and not just maintain, I want to, I've been someone that's a survivor in life, just dealing with different circumstances and trauma. But with regard to this situation, I definitely don't want to take on more than I can bear. And I have so much fervor and so much, I don't know, just so much passion behind what I'm doing right now in this spiritual work that I could see myself taking on more than I can chew, and I don't want to do that. So this is saying that this is the effect that it would have on me. So I will say this, I'm up for the challenge. However, I know and understand that I definitely need to um, maintain my sanity and my spirituality and my emotional health while I'm going through this transition. So this has been really great. This is my 5-card spread. This has been a question and answer reading on myself, Queen Elle. And I really appreciate you all for joining me today. Like I've said before, I appreciate you all for joining me on this journey that I'm embarking on with tarot reading and with spirituality as a whole. So look forward to the different ways that I will channel from my ancestors and spiritual guides and angels to just to go through this journey in a more mindful, a more meaningful, and purposeful way. I'm really looking forward to that. So, thank you again. I really appreciate it. Sending you love and light and many blessings. Thank you so much. It's March 3rd, 2020, and this is Queen Elle. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.